What's going on, Cubs fam? It is time for the DSA Fast Pass every Saturday morning. Your Fast Pass to everything you need to know in Disney Sorcerer's Arena. And to go on with the DSA Fast Pass, you know who we're bringing on. It's the one and only Cozy. What's going on, Cozy Gamer? How you doing,
How's it going, Cubs fan? Good to see you, man, for yet another episode of DSA Fast Pass. Excited, my man.
Good stuff, good stuff. Now, we're recording this a bit early because Cozy here's going on vacation, and so we're going to hope that Glue doesn't render everything we say in this video obsolete by the time we post it on Saturday. We're recording this on Wednesday morning.
That's the hope. That's the hope.
All right, we got a good lineup for you guys today. We're going to talk about, well, we got a meme of the week as always, but then we've got a big discussion to have about Disney Sorcerer's Arena. Is the game in trouble, and what does the game need to keep people interested at this point? And then we're also going to talk about our favorite Disney princesses, a conversation I know all you guys out there want to participate in, and maybe all you girls too. Most needed hero buffs, pick your team, and ranking mythicals will come up on Cozy's video, so be sure to check that out as soon as you guys are done here. Should we get to it?
Let's do it.
All right, first and foremost, you know we got a meme of the week. Check this out. I love this meme. When a new kingdom character gets added to DSA, this will make a fine addition to my collection.
It's so perfect, right? 'Cause it's like the most true statement. Like anything that's kingdom is automatically going to be viable because of, you know,
And they're going to go Shan Yu. Shan Yu goes ever. The only critique I have for this meme is I wish that they would have changed the lightsabers to like heads of new kingdom characters. Like put Anna in there and put Maleficent there because she's coming up and you know she's going to go with Shan Yu unless they change something drastic. You know what? They're going to probably pull a CG and put something in Maleficent's kit that's like, does not work with Shan Yu lead or something like that. It'd be too OP, man.
I think, yeah, and I think in the future too, they're gonna keep, just like Elsa's not kingdom, she's wild. Like I feel like they're gonna like there's gonna be certain people that should be kingdom that they're like, we can't put them in kingdom.
All right, fam, we have got to talk about DSA and the current state of the game, and is DSA in trouble? Now, we were kind of, it's funny, when we first started recording this video, or getting ready to record this video, we were kind of talking about this, and we started having this big discussion. I think, Cozy, we both realized that we have a lot to discuss in regards to this, right?
We do. Absolutely. I'm excited to talk this subject. It's an important subject. So yeah, let's get to it.
Now, let me preface this by saying that I do not feel like the game is screwed right now. And I think a lot of the things that I feel like the game needs are fine that the game doesn't have yet. It is just something that I feel like we're getting close to the time where we need to see some more content coming to this game. And let me kind of preface this also by my own personal experience, which is a little bit different than Cozy, because Cozy, you're going to take a bit of an alternate view to me. I think we might agree on some things here. But Cozy's in a very, very hardcore committed guild, the DSA Titans, and I am in a more relaxed, casual community. And right now, that community is in some ways falling apart. At least our guild, I wouldn't say falling apart, but there's a varying level of commitment, and interest is waning significantly right now because all we've had so far is character after character after character. And I think right now one of the biggest things we need to see soon in this game is some kind of new PvE content to unify guilds, because right now I just don't feel like, as I should say clubs, I don't really feel like there's much incentive to have a unified club unless you're in the very late end game. What are your thoughts on this, Cozy? Let's get this conversation kicked off.
Yeah, so first, you know, I can agree with you there, right? I mean, so Disney Titans, we're currently the #1 club in the game. So yes, my viewpoint's a little bit different.
#1 club in the game.
We're #1.
Let me just dust my shoulders off here.
Yeah, humble brag. No, I get exactly what you're saying. I think that they've nailed the PvP side of content. In fact, more than really any of the other predecessor games before it. I mean, there's more PvP action that you can do than ever. PvE wise, you know, Club Dungeon, I think they had good heart there, but they definitely need to expand on that. And Towers, for the first 5, it's a blast, right?
Yeah.
But then that does fall off a little bit. So I see what you're saying on PvE. You know, my whole point on this, Cubs, is I think that looking at Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, we both started playing. When did you start playing Galaxy of Heroes, Cubs?
At launch.
At launch? Okay, so same here, right?
Yeah.
How how vanilla was that game the first
Yeah.
5 months in?
Yeah, and I think this is a good point. And the game didn't get a raid. We actually looked this up because we were wondering when did that first raid hit? Because the Rancor raid was such a big part of this. And so here's a relic from the past here. EA Jesse here. If you guys remember Jesse. This is when he announced the Rancor raid. This was on April 19th, 2016. And they launched the raid along with guilds at the same time. And this, for me, was when the game really came alive for me. I would say between the beginning of the game to when this hit in April. I wasn't a content creator at first. I was just a normal guy playing Galaxy of Heroes on my phone. That was it. And they're all poop games. Let's just be honest, Cozy. So anyway, once it hit, that's when the game came alive for me. And so that was about 5 months into the game. We're 3 months into this game, almost 4 months. Is that right?
Yeah, we're coming on. I think we're 3 months in. We're right around 3 months.
So if we're going to compare it directly to Galaxy of Heroes, which you can't, it's not an apples to apples comparison, but if you're going to make that comparison, then hopefully within the next few months we would get that, and it would be a reasonable amount of time. Let's compare it to Marvel Strikeforce, though. Do you know how soon Marvel Strikeforce got a raid? I think it was a lot. I think it launched with raids, or was very, very soon after launch they had raids.
So yes, and Marvel Strikeforce, they did a lot of things right, but as you know, Foxnet had its own trouble days too.
Oh,
right?
They did a lot of things wrong too. Yeah.
So it's like these games, they've all learned from each other, but then they all have mistakes that come with their own. I think DSA, it's got steady releases, even though it's just characters. It does have a pretty steady release cadence. They've proven to listen to the community. We've got pretty good dev support,
good communication, good characters, good PvP.
Yes. I think that they did, we talked about this briefly earlier. I think they did an awesome job with Club Conquest, making that a game mode. But at the same time, there's a few things lacking in that game mode. I think there needs to be more synergy overall with teams to encourage more team compositions. But also, Cubs, you had a good point. What was your point on Club Conquest?
Yeah, so I think Club Conquest is a little bit ahead of its time. And what I mean by this is we did not see in Galaxy of Heroes territory wars until very late into the game. I mean, the game had been out for, I think, 2.5 years at least before we saw that. And again, it's not apples to apples, but I want to compare DSA launching with Club Conquest, which is a game mode that encourages the use of many teams. By the time Galaxy of Heroes had that, we were very familiar with so many different teams, so many different compositions. We had so many different, so much experience. Every player had so much experience with several different teams because we'd already cycled through, like 10, 12 metas or something like that by that point. Right. DSA launched with this, and so the player experience in the late game, it might be different. Like where you're at, super hardcore, very heavy whaling going on. You may have a lot of teams that you guys are familiar with using, but I think for the common player playing this game, Club Conquest is actually a very overwhelming game mode because we just don't have the experience of how a lot of these synergies work. Now, I want to make a clear point here. I am not knocking on Conquest saying it shouldn't be in the game. I'm super glad we have it. I think it's an amazing take on Guild v Guild, but I do not feel like Club Conquest is unifying guilds right now and keeping the game interesting for most people yet. That's why I think something like a raid or some kind of PvE content that is more engaging for guilds would do that in a more effective way because it more centers on just one or two teams that you're working on instead of trying to flush out a full roster of PvP content.
Yeah, you make great points there. My thoughts overall, Club Conquest is, I think, to fix it, at least, clubs are going to get there where their teams are going to come. And we do need more just good synergy leaders to make more interesting teams.
Yeah.
They definitely need to pump up the rewards. They need to make it, it's one of my favorite game modes.
Oh yeah, the rewards are very weak for how much effort it is. Very weak.
They are, and there's not much difference from first, second, and third.
Yeah.
Once you get that established, though, it's an incredibly fun game mode, and I props to them for doing it. The biggest thing that I want to point out, Cubs, and I know we both know this, and I don't know if the DSA community knows this. This game started out with a much different vision of what they wanted it to be. It was a 3v3 game at one point. It wasn't exactly built to be the game that it was today. And so I think where they are at now, I remember the Swaga days with 1x speed, no protection. Cubs, it was like a grind. I mean, it wasn't past, you're right, a toilet game at that point. Like, it was just kind of, ooh, Star Wars on my phone. This is new and cool. And that was it. And then you're right, when Raids released Cubs, you saw the explosion of content creators. You saw the explosion of excitement because you had theory crafting. You had all these amazing. We met this boss that was just annihilating us, right? And we were throwing a Qui-Gon Jinn with a Han Solo, a raid Han, whatever, Stormtrooper Han. Like, we were just trying to put anything together at that point, right? So
the Rancor raid had a lot of longevity too. I mean, it was something that lasted and that was strategized about. And I remember. So I didn't start making content for Galaxy of Heroes until I'd been playing the game for 2 years. And I was making videos about the Rancor raid. That's how long that lasted.
A quick fix to, you're right. A quick fix to this game is going to be getting I don't think it needs a big fix right now, but I do think getting a game mode in the next month, 2 months is imperative. Like, absolutely imperative, whatever that looks like. A raid would be an easy way to get people to use these new characters and characters they already have to be more efficient and effective. Yeah,
I think, so here's what I would say. I don't think the game needs a fix right now. I think the devs have killed the launch for this game. Yes. I think the question is, are they going to hook us, right? Because, here's the thing. The Rancor raid, bringing those guilds together, and Marvel Strikeforce raids, bringing those guilds together, and the way that those games happened, fused guilds together and created this strong commitment to the community, to Galaxy Heroes, to strategy, where people were making spreadsheets and all of this stuff to keep because they couldn't get enough of this game, right? So the question is, are we going to go to that level, or are we just going to be a casual game? Right now, this is a casual game for me. I enjoy it. I love the characters. I love the synergies, but there's just nothing in the game right now that is sucking me in on a super deep committed level like something did in Galaxy of Heroes early on. And frankly, at this point, nothing in Galaxy of Heroes had done that. It wasn't until the Rancor raid hit. And so I'm hoping something comes soon that accomplishes that. It doesn't have to be a raid. It doesn't even have to be PvP content, but it's got to be something to bring the community together, something that's very challenging, that forces people to, like, here's the thing. I'm going on a big, long tangent here, but I think this is why I think the Rancor did this, is because it was something that's very challenging, but if you put the time and effort into some pretty intense strategy, it was very rewarding to figure it out and to get, awesome rewards in game and to make a lot of progress. It felt like something anybody could do. And right now, there just isn't anything like that in this game for me.
Yeah. So, I would say, yes, I think that they need something to hook for the people that have now caught up to having, their max 5, having things done where they're not just doing live PvP. For me, Lotso and the new characters have done a world of theory crafting. Those guys can fit with so many different teams. So that's my current hook. But overall, I'm going to say people do need to understand we live right now in a COVID world. Okay. So we want stuff now, right? We want stuff now.
That sounds like a music video. Living in a COVID world.
A lot of us are pent up in the house, right? We're playing these mobile games more than ever. So I think the patience level is going at a faster pace than usual. I think people need to understand overall what this game has come out with on launch is worlds ahead, and it should be because they learned from their predecessors. It is world aheads from what came out. All games like this do have a little bit of growing pains, but I'm still going to give them an A. I think they've done a good job, at least sucking me into the, Disney universe. They have limitless IP potential. And if you love Disney, you're going to love this game because it should suck you into the characters and getting to be inside that Pixar Disney world.
And I'm cheering for this game. I think it's a good point. Something else that I thought of while you were saying that was that right now, something that DSA has disadvantaged for is other games haven't had to compete on this level, right? When Marvel Strikeforce came out, they just basically had Galaxy of Heroes to compete with. When Galaxy of Heroes came out, they had like Summoner's War to compete with, which a lot of people who started Galaxy of Heroes weren't even playing Summoner's War. And now it's like, you got to convince people glue. You got to convince people playing Marvel Strikeforce and playing Galaxy of Heroes, playing Raid Shadow Legends, playing Dragon Champions, playing Summoner's War, playing whatever else. There's so many games like this that this game is worth your time. And these are players who are very, like, Galaxy of Heroes players are so committed to Galaxy of Heroes that they're putting up with some just straight up abuse from the dev team, and they're still playing the game because they're so committed to the game. That's the level of commitment you're competing with here. And so there's got to be something to really suck people in, because the patience level, like you said, is just not going to be there. It's just not going to be there. And right now, I'm seeing that in my community. I'm seeing a lot of people leaving the game. I'm seeing the views go down for the videos. I'm seeing the views go down for my Twitch streams as a result. And so I'm hoping something comes that pumps that interest up.
Yeah, I mean, my closing notes on the subject, I think that, I mean, on my end, right, again, I'm a new channel. My views are going up. My subs and things like that are going up, right? So we have different, I guess, again, we're in kind of different spots and views on it. But end of the day, I just, you know, we're still in the early phases. You can only say that for so long. Like Swaga says things for so long. We're still in the early phases. So let's give them some patience. The best thing about it, though, Cubs, hands down, is I know the devs, they're in love with Disney, and that's what matters, because as long as they're in love with the product they're making and they listen to the community, I think they're definitely in the best interest of the community, and I think we're going to see some good stuff coming our way.
I agree. I 100% agree. And the communication has been on point. They're checking so many boxes. I think it's just, for me, it's just a question of, all right, you're doing everything right. Now, hook us. Just hook us. You've got just a few things missing, and then I think this game is going to be maybe the best game like this out there. So, all right, let's move on to our favorite Disney princesses. Just as a fun subject, we just wanted to have a little debate on who is your favorite Disney princess, Cozy.
You know, I love that we switched it from serious to like, let's talk about our favorite princess.
Who is your childhood crush?
Yeah, right. You know, okay. So I've got one just favorite princess, and then one princess that just who I'd want to see in this game that's currently not. My favorite princess, though, and I'm a big Mulan fan. Mulan is just, I mean, come on. She's like, she's like the most BA of the Disney princesses, in my opinion. Like, what a crazy journey, and what a, like, she takes down Shan Yu, man. Like, come on.
She's kind of scary though, man. Like, I mean, she'll beat you up, dude.
Yeah, you better be ready.
She beat me up.
Be ready. Who's yours, man?
All right, mine is Rapunzel, man. It's got to be Rapunzel. Oh man,
all the choice,
dude. Okay, first of all, Mandy Moore.
Yes.
Woo! And yeah, so it's Rapunzel, man.
What about in game?
Right. She's the one I want to bring the game to. Just to bring me
like,
Rapunzel, all right?
Yeah,
and Flynn Rider, let's bring the whole crew.
In game, I think, because they're not going to bring all the dwarves in game, but I think Snow White, with having all the dwarves, like maybe we have like 4 abilities with her. That would be like using them in different ways. Dude. That could be like the hero, man.
That could be sweet. All right, Who is your favorite Disney princess? Down in the comments below. Fill it up and let me know how you guys are feeling about Disney Sorcerer's Arena right now. Do you agree with my feedback? Do you agree with Cozy's feedback? What do you think the game needs, or do you think the game's totally fine? Let us know, and like the video if you enjoyed it. And as always, my brothers, don't forget,